Remember that all of our broadcasts are archived at our Ustream page and our YouTube page at youtube.com/jhuerta11. Also remember to look us up at our Facebook page at facebook.com/thescore with Chase Efurd and Joseph Huerta with no spaces. And if you would like to follow us on Twitter, you can follow Chase at twitter.com/chaseeford. And if you would like to follow me, Joseph, you can follow me at twitter.com/thescore_Joseph.
Welcome back to the score. When we left off last time, we said we were going to do some newsworthy items, talk about some newsworthy stuff that's in the news currently, and we're going to do our analysis of the Big 12 season. Even though the Big 12 is no longer 12 teams, that's irrelevant. But in the news right now, it was just reported that Charlie Sheen admitted to using steroids on the set of Major League. Technically, that's not a big deal, but Major League is one of my favorite movies, and some people are just kind of using this as, well, hey, Charlie Sheen did steroids, and he's also a coke addict, so they think it's a big deal. Had it been like an actual player, I think it's kind of a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen admits to using steroids, not a big deal, not as big of a deal as other people are saying.
Dude, I didn't know that he was actually, he actually was good at baseball. He was actually throwing, 85 miles an hour during that movie.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was actually a really good baseball player in high school, but then decided to act instead.
That's
Well,
cool.
now we all know where the drug addiction started.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Also in the news, Cliff Lee is 5-0 in the month of June with a .21 ERA. 32 consecutive scoreless innings pitched by this machine. But that's also, that's an amazing month. 5-0, .21 isn't. What do you think about that, Joe?
It's awesome. There's nothing else to say.
There's nothing else to say. That's ridiculously good.
It's not going to last, obviously.
Well, no, it's not going to last, but, it's still impressive. Okay. Also in the news, USA last weekend lost to Mexico in the Gold Cup Finals.
The CONCACAF Gold Cup Finals.
I'm sorry, the what?
The CONCACAF or whatever it's said.
Yeah, whatever. 4-2. They lost 4-2. People were really excited about this game because it was USA and Mexico in a game that actually mattered for something. And a lot of people were rooting for USA to win, but just couldn't get it done because Mexico has a younger, more talented team, it looked like to me. But, you can make that, yeah. Okay, that was what was in the news, wrapping it up. Now, here's my favorite thing to do. College football is probably my favorite thing about sports. I love college football more than I love taffy, and I really love taffy. I'm a man who loves his taffy. College football, last year, Joseph, did we ever post the episode of the score that we did our predictions on?
No.
We did. Joseph and I. What we did was he took the Big 12 and I took SEC, and we predicted how the season was going to turn out for each team in each conference. And we did something similar to that this year. And we're going to start with the Big 12. And Joseph, you did your analysis on the Big 12 season. I'm going to let you have the floor. The Big 12, which is now 10 teams.
Exactly. Yes, it is. 10 teams, there's no longer divisions, and there's no longer a championship game. The two teams that are out of the Big 12 are Colorado and Nebraska, if you failed to learn about that in the past 365 days. But yeah, so let's start with our predictions. The original way we did it, we would just take the schedule of each team and go win loss for each game. But I realized that is very it's very, very poor way of predicting a season because, especially in a league like the Big 12 where there's not one team that's going to destroy everybody and everybody's going to be beating everybody like this year. So the records may be the same, but all the games are going to be different. It's really inaccurate. It's not going to work. So I'm just going to go ahead and say what I think their win total will be and whatnot, and I'll say some stuff like that. So let's get this started. I'm going to start with Texas Tech. I had them finishing around 7-5, about 4 wins out of 9 in the Big 12 conference play. Um, yeah, you got like old SEC coach Tommy Tuberville going over there and modernizing, or with his like taking over a modernized uh, like game of football, and now going to turn it back into a Stone Age SEC style of football. Uh, Chase, what do you think about Texas Tech's chances this year?
Well, Texas Tech. I remember we had one person of all last college football season asked us about Texas Tech. We laughed and we lolled and didn't say anything much about it. Texas Tech, I would have to agree with 7-5. That's about a good round number for them. They're in a. I mean, the Big 12 is a very tough. You've got everybody together now. I mean, they were still in the toughest conference when it was 12 teams.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't see Texas Tech doing much more than that. I would have to agree. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend I know much about Texas Tech at this point. But 75 sounds about a. Is that what you said, right?
yeah, 7-5, around 6, 7 wins is about I think where they're at because they lost both the quarterbacks that they used last year, and uh, those two guys. Man, I cannot remember anybody's name today. Well, they lost their two quarterbacks they were alternating last year, and they lost their best running back in Baron Batch. They lost some seniors on defense last year, and they're only returning 10 starters. And that's I think in the bottom 20 of the whole entire country in starters returning. So I don't see Texas Tech doing anything special this year. It's just another rebuilding year for Tommy
It's
Tutterville and Texas
mediocre.
Tech. Mediocre.
Sorry, Tanner. You can have the floor, bro.
I think they're just gonna have a mediocre season.
I wouldn't call 7-5 a mediocre. I would call it average.
I would call 6-6 mediocre.
No, for a team that's not an elite team or like a power program, it's another team. It's just I
So
would
you
call
see
it
them doing,
average.
you see them doing just about as well as they did last year because that's what they went 7-5 last year.
Yeah, just around there.
Well, they went 8-5 because they went bowling.
That's true. Okay, but yeah, just around that 7-5, 6, 7 wins is about where I think they'll be at. But I do
Sounds
think
good.
they will go bowling.
Sounds good.
All right, moving on to Iowa State, Tanner's favorite team.
Yeah.
I had Iowa State.
Joke. That's a joke.
I do Iowa State. They are losing. They lost their senior quarterback in Austin Arnaud this past year. I had them finishing with 3 to 4 wins, and maybe 1 or 2 wins in Big 12 play. Uh, I don't see Iowa State doing anything impressive. They did beat Texas last year, which is the first time they've ever done that in the history of college football. But I don't think that one thing is going to help them become a contender in the Big 12. So there's nothing really much to talk about Iowa State. What do you guys think about Iowa State?
Iowa State's Iowa State.
Yeah, there's nothing much to say. What do you think, Tanner?
There's not gonna be much going on there anytime soon.
Yeah.
They went 5-7 last year, and yeah, they did beat Texas, but who didn't last year? So
Yeah, that's true. Okay, next, moving on to Mizzou. Mizzou, you got a big shakeup going there because they've been a pretty dominant school in the Big 12 North when there were divisions in the past few years. They had Blaine Gabbert, a big-time quarterback coming out of college. He's gone now, so even his younger brother is gone. His younger brother would have been a redshirt freshman this year, transferred to Louisville. I believe it was yesterday.
I have
So
Missouri going 8-4.
yeah, I had that around there too. Where was it? Yeah, around 8-4 is a good prediction. Um, that's actually to me that's actually kind of a dream season. Like 8-4 would be like a national championship for this kind of team because right here actually I had him winning 5 or 6 games. That's really low. Maybe 7, 8 games is probably where they'd be at this year, with a new quarterback in James Franklin, and they are returning 17 starters overall, so that's pretty impressive.
that is impressive.
Yeah, they only lost 2 players on offense. Their starting running back and their starting quarterback, so they still have a shot to 7, 8 wins is where I'd put them for now.
Yeah, I think that's exactly like what they're gonna land on. Is about 7 or 8 wins.
Yeah.
7-8. I would lean a little more towards 8 for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
'Cause
7, 8, 7 to 9.
I don't see them being terrible. I mean, they are bringing back 17 guys, so I mean, there's still that experience factor there for most of the team.
That's true.
But they did lose Blaine Gabbert.
What was their record